Hi, I'm Ty Comer, editor of Billboard.com. Thank you for joining us again for another live chat. And today we are very, very excited to be able to bring you the one, the only, and according to your recent poll, the best American Idol of all time, Mr. David Archuleta.
Oh, hi.
David, thank you for joining us.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me.
For the next half an hour or so, David is going to be here answering your questions live. If you haven't tweeted your question yet, you still have a chance to do so. Go to Billboard.com on Twitter, tweet us a question using hashtag BBLiveChat, and perhaps I will put David on the spot and get him to answer your question. Today is a very, very exciting day for David. His third album, The Other Side of Down, was just released today. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So really interesting album title. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what that means?
The Other Side of Down, well, it was just kind of to get people thinking a little bit, you know, kind of looking at things from a different way. And it just kind of, what it means is just looking at things in a positive way. Mm-hmm. And how despite how things may be a little challenging, sometimes things seem a little confusing and at times, or like, oh, this is difficult. It's just about looking, despite whatever may be happening, looking at things with hope, you know, just saying, you know, things will be good, and just keeping on, you know.
Right. Now, how was putting this album together different from the first album that you put out?
It was really different. It was the first album was just like a whirlwind, and it's like, put this together as fast as you possibly can, even though you've never done this before. Right. So it was a lot of learning, and it was just like, whoa, I don't know if I can keep up with the pace that this is moving at. Because
you basically went from Idol right into the recording studio for that album, right?
To the American Idol tour.
Right. Oh, it's the American.
So it was like it was the first tour and first album both at the same time, and there was a lot going on, and it was a lot for me to try and take in, but I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot from that, and I've learned a lot from this album making cycle too, and I was a lot more involved with writing and just creating and putting my own thoughts and ideas into this album and into these songs. So it was really cool to be able to just put more of me in there and have more of a say on what's going to happen with my album and have a theme.
Mm-hmm. So I've read some of the reviews, and you've gotten some great response from the record so far.
Oh, cool.
One of the things that a lot of people have said is that it's nice to hear you sound your age this time. What do you think it is that they mean by that?
I'm not sure. I mean, I guess what I really tried to do was make it me, and you know, right now I just wanted it to be reflective of whatever was going on with in my brain, or you know, and whatever I'm going through right now in my life, with experiences and stuff. And I'm a teenager. This is my last year of being a teenager and getting to be a teenager and show that in my music.
Right.
And I wanted to have fun with it. I felt, you know, I think instead of worrying about, oh, well, I want to come across this way in front of people and look a certain way, it's like, you know what? I just want to be myself. I just want to be me. And I'm kind of an odd person. I'm kind of weird and kind of goofy, and I wanted that to come out in an
endearing sort of way.
Oh, thanks. So, but yeah, I wanted that to come out in the music, because it's like, you know, to be honest, it's hard for me not to be me. It's hard, and I can't help it. As much as sometimes it's like, oh, I can't. You act a little more mature, a little more cool, David. It's like it's just who I am, and I feel like I need to be true and real and honest with my music. So the songs have more of that fun, kind of lighthearted side of David. And what's cool, I think, is, you know, I really wanted to try and find a balance between that fun lightheartedness along with meaningful things and having substance in the songs. And I feel like I was able to accomplish that with the album.
Great. Now, you mentioned that you wrote a lot of songs on the record, actually. I think that there's maybe all but one or two songs you actually had a hand songwriting in. Was the songwriting process for you easy? Did it all come very naturally, or?
It was not easy. I can tell you that. It's always hard for me to, before, like at the beginning especially, it was hard for me to say anything, period. It was just hard. It's like, what should I say? What is it that I want to get across? And how do I say it? Like, I know what am feeling, but how do I get that into words?
Right.
Words are used to describe an idea or how you're an emotion or feeling, and I hadn't mastered that. and now I think it's to the point where it's like I don't know how to get to the point. Right. It's like the opposite end. I can't get it down to just a few verses. I need like a bunch of pages to explain what I want to get across. Right. So it's a challenge for me because it's either one end of I don't know what to say, or how do I say this a lot shorter? Right. Because the song's only so long, but it was really fun. There are a lot of different ways to write a song. That's what I've definitely learned, and it's especially in Nashville, I learned. Just that's where I really the writers there, especially the Joy Williams, who's a writer and an artist. She and the other writers were just really patient with me, and they really just allowed me to figure out what it is I wanted to say and what I wanted to do, and it kind of mapped out the rest of the rest of the year pretty much. And so I'm really just appreciative of them and for their hospitality and their patience with me.
Let's take a listen to one of the songs on the album that you did write. It's called Elevator. It's actually one of my favorite tunes from the record.
Oh, thanks.
So let's take a little listen to that right now.
All right.
Yeah. Do you need a backup singer on your tour? I can totally work that out for you.
Yeah, I haven't had a backup singer.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about this and how Elevator came together?
Well, this song actually came pretty fast. It came really fast. I was working with these writers, Mike Crumpus and Shelley Piken, and we were working on another song called "Who I Am" on the album, and we were just kind of recording that and getting the rough vocal on that. And then when she took me back to where I was staying, and she's like, "Let me know if we do end up getting any time to work on anything else. Let me know." And I had a dream the night before, and it had been in my mind, and it's like, well, I had a dream, and I was like, oh, this is so stupid, I'm not going to tell you. And she's like, no, wait, tell me. And I'm like, so, okay, well, I had a dream last night, and I was on an elevator, and I wasn't sure what floor to get off of, and it's like there are all these floors, and it was kind of like Inception, where it's just really bizarre and abstract. And she's like, huh. And so the next day, we finished up Who I Am, and then we had just a little bit of time. We had places to get to, but we're like, we have a little bit of time here. Let's just try something. And so we started working on the idea of my dream about elevators, and just kind of just went with it. It just came out. It just happened really fast, really naturally, and in like 30, 45 minutes. And it's just what it is. And I think that's what's so magical about it. It wasn't trying to be anything else.
From dream to reality.
Yeah, yep, pretty much.
Well, my phone is blowing up with so many tweets that are coming through from your fans. So let's start answering some fan questions. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. This one comes in from Snow Angels, who's asked, did this album involve more work than the last one, or was it more fun overall? I mean, you sort of talked about this a little bit, but as far as you were writing a lot of songs and, you had more of a hand in it. The actual recording process, did you find it easier to sing the songs because you wrote them yourself?
You sing them in a different way because you have to be the one to figure out what needs to be said and how it needs to be said. Mm-hmm. Where with other songs, like with the first album, it was mainly other people writing them and giving them to me, and me saying, okay, I like this song, and just figuring out, okay, what is this song trying to do? Mm-hmm. And figuring out how to interpret it still in your own way, but not 100% yourself. And so with this album, I really made it a goal to, it's like, I just want it to be me, because I don't want anyone else to be able to say, you're not doing it the right way. You're not, this is how it needs to be done. You don't know what to do. It's like, well, I know for sure what needs to be done, because I know what I'm trying to accomplish. I know what the songs need to say and how it needs to be said. And so I was able to trust myself a lot more this time. And because before it's like, oh, okay, well, the writer's saying I'm not singing it the right way, or there's not enough emotion in it, or it's not, it's, those kinds of things. And okay, well, I guess they're right, because it's their song.
Right.
No one was able to say that, because I had control over this album, and it was a really good feeling.
Right. This is sort of a follow-up to that question. Comes from Kathy HKs, who says, love the album, and I definitely hear David in the lyrics. How much input did he have on the music side?
On the melodies, I had a lot of influence, and it just depended on what kind of song, on production. In the songs in Nashville, I had a lot of say. So actually, The Other Side of Down, which was, it's interesting because it's probably the first. I mean, I wrote more songs, but it's the oldest song that made it onto the album.
Okay.
It was the first song of it. It's the oldest of the bunch.
And
but
how long ago did you actually write that song?
It was almost a year ago that we wrote it. But with production and stuff, it was one of the last songs. So there's that one, and also the last song, My Kind of Perfect, which what's interesting about that song. It started with an idea, and it was with the piano idea, and then it built with more production. But it's like it didn't sound right. It's like the emotion's not right. So I was like, we need to take away more. We need to take away more, and I went in and re-recorded it so that the sensitivity that I was looking for matched, and the piano and the vocal. We just kind of redid it, and now I feel like it's such a magical song, because it's just really honest and really real in what it's saying. But yeah, like, so those kinds of songs I had quite a bit of say, and same with like Elevator and
It's really
yeah, sorry.
Well, it's really great to hear how much you've grown as an artist, and you're taking like such a leading role in the music that you're actually doing now. When you were making this record, what were some of the other artists that you were listening to and that you were looking up to and trying to emulate?
I was trying to look at people I admired, not just for the sounds that they used, but the way they came across. And I didn't want to just focus on that song sounds cool. I mean, at first I kind of was thinking that, but the more I got into it, I wanted to focus on people who it was about what they were saying, how they were saying it, not just with the lyrics, but the way they sang and the way they came across as an artist, and what they were all about as an artist. And I wanted to,
who specifically?
A Fine Frenzy. The last album that Allison did had a big impact on me with what I wanted to do with this album, because she went from doing more emotional, heartfelt music to doing a more happy, kind of positive, quirky album.
Right.
And I just loved that. I loved that she was able to still be fun, but it wasn't just about the topics that she was singing of, like, in order to be youthful and fun, I'm going to sing about partying and high school love. It was still kind of about things that she really thought about, and you could tell had substance to her personally, but was still fun. And it's like, I want to be able to do that. And so it was, I kept her in mind. I kept Natasha Bedingfield in mind, because she was she's a pop artist like I am. We're both in pop music, but I have so much, have so much respect for her because of the things she sings about and just her talent that she has. And it's like, I kept her in mind too, and just, wanting to do kind of fun, young stuff, but still have a meaning behind it. And it means something to me.